Oh, look at all the sad fans out there in Ravens Town. Don't be sad, LBHT crew, because it is Wednesday. Okay, happy Wednesday. We're here to bring the spirits up. Okay, right? It is Wednesday. Your week, I know it hasn't been going well. All right, but it's going to get better starting right now. All right, shout out to the LBHT crew, man. All right. We got look, man, they feeling it. They're feeling up quick, man. Bazel's hitting here first, Agent E second, Jeremy third. I like that. I like that. All right. Shout out to you guys. Buck is in the house. Salute, salute. Oh, look who's here. I knew she was gonna be here today. What's going on, Megan? All right, Seahawks fan, the number one Seahawks fan, some might say. All right, says great day to be a Seahawks fan. Sorry, Ravens. Hey, congrats to you guys. All right. I mean, when you have a good coaching staff, they get jobs. That's how it works. All right. And we're going to discuss that. Just Alo's in the house. Says hello, LBHT crew. I hope everyone is doing well. Salute, Just Alo. Keelan's in the house. What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Yes, Mr. Galloway. Salute to Mr. Galloway. Y'all check out his video. He just put out a video, him and Hendo yesterday or day before.
Yesterday.
Yeah. It's about is rap legends hereditary, right? Because you have a lot of rap legends whose children are rapping now. Great discussion, man. They always have like the dope topics, man. You need to subscribe to that channel and check out the videos. All right. Shout out to DDSQ, man. Salute to you. Yes. Just Alo says my spirits are fine. I've seen enough of Harbaugh's mess to not let it get to me. Yeah. We're kind of veterans for that. Of that. Okay. It doesn't hit us the same as the younger generation. But look, we're going to discuss all of that. We're going to discuss the offseason. If you watched the Ravens Roundup, which I know most of you did on Monday, I ended it with on a positive note, okay? Because I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think there's a lot to look forward to next year, one way or the other. Let's put it that way. All right. So I'm not down at all. Okay. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit the like, follow, subscribe here, all that good stuff. All right. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star review and share with your friends, because we got goals, man. We're trying to grow. Hit the subscribe over here as well. All right. You know what I didn't do? I didn't post I ain't posted a link in the chat box. Sorry about that. All right. I got to do that. I'll do that during the Black History Fact. But look, the Cash App is still there. All right. $ LBHT Show. Right. That's how you get to our Cash App. The pin link will be in the chat box momentarily. That's for our Stream Elements page. That's how you do super chat around here. All right. We had a lot of people after that loss in the stream. People were asking about the super chat B.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll make sure you guys know how to contribute to the show. All right. Attitude Pop, what's going on? Says Coach sent them. Oh, the coach's crew is coming through. That's what I'm talking about. Salute to Coach. Salute to Coach. Bazel, Coach didn't send you. He ain't send you.
Coach ain't send Attitude Pop either. Attitude Pop is our patron.
I know. Well, his trial might be up. I don't know. Pay the bills. What up, though? Hey, what's good? What's good? Salute to you. That's shout out to our guy, Aaron Duncan. This is his thing. What up, though? Right? That's his thing. Ola Killer Cam. Shout out to you. Ravenville, Coach sent me. Shout out. Zoom Jones, Coach sent you. That's what I'm talking about. All right. As y'all shuffling in, you're gonna get a lot of Ravens talk today. Okay, we're gonna get Panthers talk as well. We got this court of public opinion. It hits me right here. Okay, right in the heart. All right, this is near and dear to my heart. Look, we're gonna talk about it. All right. Some other NBA news, interesting news. Like we always give you the interesting topics, even if you're not a fan of the sport. We give you the interesting topics. We have some interesting topics to talk about. TQ10 just subscribe. Shout out to TQ10. Salute to you. Appreciate that.
By the way, we're like 10 away from 1,800. So if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe, just like TQ10.
Yeah. Really appreciate you guys and the support you've been giving us, man. We're close to 2,000 subscribers. We set lofty goals around here. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the Super Bowl. It was supposed to be by the time Lamar Jackson hoisted up the Lombardi Trophy, but that won't be until next year. And it will be next year, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get it twisted. I know we're feeling down right now, but I'm telling you, it will be next year. All right. We're pretty close in our predictions. We're pretty spot on, right? It should have happened this year, but I'm telling you, next year it's going to happen. So, dust yourself off. We'll get to work in the off season, and next year will be our year. Watch. All right, so we're going to discuss all that, but first, we like to start every show with the Black History Fact, and B and Okole have a Black History Fact for you.
Welcome to this week's LBHT Black History Fact. Denmark Vesey, also known as Telemark, was born into slavery circa 1767 on the island of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. In his early teens, Denmark was taken to Charleston, South Carolina, where he eventually won a lottery for $1,500 and was able to buy his freedom. Vesey was a carpenter by trade, and once free, started a successful business. Even as a free man, Vesey often associated with enslaved people and was seen as a leader in the black community. He helped establish and grow an African Methodist Episcopal Church, today known as Mother Emanuel, which became the second largest AME church in the country. Despite his freedom and prominent position in the majority black Charleston, Vesey took it upon himself to begin planning a slave revolt. He started by recruiting members of his church and then spreading the word throughout Charleston and the surrounding areas. The revolt was to occur on July 14th, Bastille Day, and the plan was to attack the Charleston arsenal, acquire weapons, kill as many slave owners as possible, liberate their slaves, and finally commandeer boats and sail to Haiti. Unfortunately, thanks to a couple of enslaved black men, George Wilson and Joe LaRoche, the plan failed. Wilson and LaRoche informed their owners, which led to a citizen militia patrolling the streets and searching for those involved. Vesey, along with several co-conspirators, were caught, tried, and executed before the uprising could even begin. In the aftermath, South Carolina further restricted the movements of free black people in the state. If a free black person were to leave South Carolina, they were not able to return. All those who lived in the state were required to have white guardians to attest to their character. And thanks to the Negro Seaman Act, sailors who docked in Charleston were to be imprisoned until their ship was ready to leave. In 2014, the city of Charleston erected a statue in Vesey's honor and designated his family home as a National Historic Landmark.
Wilson and LaRoche. That was another little bit of black history. The first ever snitches. Wow. Everything was going just fine. And they're like, I'm telling. Disgusting. Hey, shout out for that Black History Fact, okay? From our native lands, Virgin Islands, okay? So shout out to the Virgin Islands, shout out to St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John in the house. All right. All right. What are you laughing at already, B?
Just Al asking, isn't that Frederick Douglass referred to the picture in the video? Listen, man, black people all look like that. I seriously, it came up on multiple sites of Denmark Vesey, so I went with it. But I thought the same.
You have to be careful because I did learn this that some of these pictures, they're not the right pictures.
Yeah.
You know?
It happens sometimes, but I don't know what he looked like. So
Right. I can't. Yeah. He might look like him. You know, might be a resemblance. Zeke Hokage said, "Damn, I missed the Black History, but what's good, y'all? Hey, shout out to you, Zeke. You can hit the rewind button. It's fine. Hit the rewind button. Come right back. All right." Bear Arm says, "Love the Virgin Islands." Hey, shout out to you. Appreciate that. Spooky J says, "Gotta tell the FBI, Harbaugh, and Vince McMahon we're close buddies." Okay, all right. Let's get into it. Did you write any of these bands? Ravens offseason begins. All right. Let's talk about it. Oh, I know. Okay, cool. Ravens offseason begins. We fell short of the goal. All right. It is very disappointing. Emotions were high the other day. I get it. Right. But man, we got work to do. That's just the bottom line. This is not a team that is a one and done thing, right? Hey, we missed our shot, and now, you know, that's it. Nope. Far from it. You know, people are worried about the turnover. Mike Macdonald, we'll talk about him in a minute, right? But you know, we might be losing some more on the coaching staff. We'll talk about that as well. But let's focus on the players that could be going, right? Players that could be gone. You know, what we could possibly do in the offseason, and are we going to be competitive? Because everybody's worried about the defense, right? Everybody's like, well, what are we going to do about the defense? Let the defense be what it is, man. Okay, we're gonna go more in depth about that in another video. We have a video set up for you, but just real quick, man. Yeah, Osmond got it. O-line, right? That's what we need to focus on. Let's focus on that part. All right. What can we do to get better on the offense? Because defense is not going to save you. Right. So, no, what are you going to say?
Oh, no. I was saying you saw, again, in this game, they played as well as they could, possibly play. And it didn't matter because you have to be able to score points.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, if we need O-line, let's get O-line. We obviously need a little bit more firepower. We need home run hitters. We need playmakers. We need guys that when things get a little tight out there, can't really get anything going, somebody can get it going. And this happens.
Yeah, we asked all season, who was the go-to guy? If you need to convert a first down, who are you going to? If you need to get a touchdown, who are you going to? If you have to get something going, who are you going to? And Ravens fans are telling us, it could be any of them. It could be Odell one week, it could be Zay one week, it could be, it could be Bateman one week, it could be Andrews one. And when it could be anybody, it means you don't have somebody. You don't have a go-to guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the AFC Championship game. We're playing another great team that has a very good defense, right? Our offense was off. Now, granted, a lot of it had to do with the coaching staff. I know everybody's quick to blame Lamar once he has a bad game, and I would say it wasn't a good game for sure, right? But a lot of people, that on this channel that don't show their faces for months, while all of a sudden come out and start talking about how bad he played, talk about you, free indeed. It ain't just free indeed. A lot of people I haven't seen in months. I thought they unsubscribed and been moved on. All of a sudden, Lamar finally had a bad game. See, it's Lamar's fault. Listen, Lamar didn't play great, but nobody played well. Nobody. And the coaching staff did a terrible job, right? Yeah. But still, right, in those type of games, when you're playing against other good teams, you may not always play your best football. The other team is really good. The Chiefs are really good at taking away what you do well. Okay, that's what kind of defense they have this year. And they still have Pat Mahomes. Now, because they won, all the mistakes are resolved. But Pat Mahomes didn't have a great game either.
No.
Okay. The only difference on offense is Travis Kelce.
Well, it's funny because he had a game that a lot of Ravens fans complain about Baltimore having with Lamar at the helm, where they went the entire second half without being able to score. Let that happen with Lamar as a starting quarterback, and see, I told you he's not a pocket passer. Oh, they need to get rid of. They can trade Lamar, blah blah blah. But Pat Mahomes did it. Their defense held on, and it's fine. He's great. He's the best.
Yeah. What's up, Yolanda?
What's up, Yolanda?
Yeah. No, that's exactly it.
And I'm really sick of people just rolling through like, oh, this is on Lamar. Okay, look, Lamar didn't play well. But if you are not also saying it's on Zay Flowers, then we know what you're about. And I don't want to hear from you. Because as bad as you think Lamar played, Lamar threw that second touchdown pass that they needed to tie the game. And Zay fumbled it at the goal line, right? Now, the game's not on Zay Flowers either. It's not on either one of them individually. But I'm saying if you want to roll in and talk about, oh, this is Lamar, and you don't mention Zay Flowers, then we know what you're about.
Well, if you don't mention anybody else, because Lamar and Zay Flowers are the only ones that are making plays.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't say, how come I didn't see Gus out there? How come I didn't see Odell out there? Why was Mark Andrews out there if he was going to just catch one pass and drop the other pass? Where was the Isaiah Likely we've been seeing in the last few weeks? If you're not asking yourself that, then yeah, like we said, like you just admit that you just came to hate on Lamar, right? I understand. Yes, people love Lamar Jackson. We love Lamar Jackson. There's a reason for that. Okay, people don't just love bums. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't love him just because he's a black quarterback. There's plenty of black quarterbacks in the league now, right? He's an electrifying player. He's a great player, right? And from what we could tell, seemed like a great person. He's a very likable person. So we root for him. But we can be objective over here on this channel, right? But we look at the whole picture. When he doesn't play well, we say, yeah, he doesn't play well. But we know the overall issue is his coaching. He does not have the best coaching. I think Harbaugh did a better job this year of kind of staying out of the way. But when you get into a game like this, it rears its ugly head. Okay? I don't want to even talk about Todd Monken because that ain't Todd Monken that's saying don't run the ball. Okay? He just got here. And he's doing the same thing that G-Roll did in the situation.
And the
same thing that
Morningwig did.
Right.
Situation.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
And Brandon, I did go back and look at Bateman's game. And Bateman got open several times. And there were very obvious reasons that he didn't get the ball every time he got open. Like, I don't know why Ravens fans have to do this. Like, there's not some conspiracy against Rashad Bateman, like that Lamar's not throwing him the ball. But Ravens fans did this with James Prochet. Ravens fans did it a little bit with Miles Boykin. They did it with Devin Duvernay. Now they're doing it with Rashad Bateman. Like, he's not some kind of secret superstar. Okay, he got open, and there were times when the O-line gave up pressure. He was open on the strip sack. Lamar was getting ready to throw to him, but he got hit.
They did with Des Bryant. Remember
Yeah,
that?
they did with
You got to get Des Bryant the ball.
Yeah.
You got to get Des Bryant the ball.
And a couple of times that Bateman got open, Lamar threw it to other receivers who were open.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews dropped one of them, and the other was that huge play to Zay Flowers.
Oh, okay. I see a little conversation going on here in the chat. I just want to acknowledge this. D Bank says, after this season, race is no longer a factor. And 33 Lady Ram says, race is always a factor. Facts. Yeah. Race is always a factor. Just because you don't want to talk about it doesn't mean it's not a factor. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the conversation. Just keep it respectful. All right. Yeah, look, Rashad Bateman, man.
I'm sorry, hold on. D-Banks, this is Monken's first year as what? This is not his first year as an offensive coordinator. It's not his first year as a coach. He doesn't know how to call a run play.
Again, I'm not blaming Monken. This is not. I'm not blaming Tom Monken. Do I think he's the best choice at offensive coordinator? Nope. I think we can get a better offensive coordinator right now. But that game was not Tom Monken's fault. He was not the one that said, I'm not going to run the ball here. No. At halftime, we're down and we're looking at the stat sheet and we ran the ball, 3 times at that point or 2 times, whatever, how many times it was, right? Harbaugh, the head coach, the guy in charge, should have said, what are you doing? Run the ball. At any time in the game, right? Coach said it the other day. He said, anytime you see this is my son made this lunch break hot take. Look at that. Check that out. Anytime you see them like this, right? They're talking to each other, right? On the headset. Yeah. He could hey, run the ball here. We need to run. Coach, we need to run. Right? He could have done that anytime. But Harbaugh just played out that way. I guess Harbaugh just lets it play out. He must have that much faith in his offensive coordinators to just go out there and do whatever they want to do, right? No. Now, don't get me wrong. G-Roll was terrible. It wasn't because of this situation here. I don't blame G-Roll for not running, for the lack of runs when he was here either. But what G-Roll was bad at was coming up with passing plays. When every time they passed the ball, they looked like they never practiced. That was my problem with G-Roll, right? He's a run game coordinator, like B said a long time ago. He's just a run game coordinator. He's not offensive coordinator. Monken has more in the vault. Okay, yeah. He knows how to run an offense. I just think there are better options out there. But he was not bad, and he's not the blame for this game.
And then Brandon said he's not getting what I'm saying. Yes, he was open, but what he was doing was just sitting there, not raising his hand, flagging Lamar Jackson down to throw him the ball. He was just sitting there. Listen, no, I hear what you're saying, but Lamar saw him on a couple of those plays. On a couple of them, he hadn't gotten to him in his progression yet. I mean, and it just kind of is what it is. The pressure got to him on a couple of those plays. A couple of plays, he just decided to go elsewhere. I don't think he needs to be, waving. I mean, we saw what happened when dude raised his hand. He threw a terrible interception, right? Maybe nobody raised their hand anymore. If they improve the O-line, Lamar will get to him in his progression. He'll throw him the ball if he's open, right? And if they can't block, that won't happen. And then sometimes more than one guy will be open and he'll just choose to throw it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. He did that to Zay a couple times too.
I wonder how many guys were open on the Chiefs that Pat Mahomes didn't look at and just said, no, I'm just going to focus in on Travis Kelce. Right? It happens. It happens to every quarterback. You can look at it and say, oh, yeah, he missed a throw there. Right? Yeah. But when Travis Kelce can do what he did on Sunday.
Well, and because the other thing, they're not robots. Sometimes it's not missing the throw. Sometimes they're making the conscious choice that I'm going to a guy who I think is going to make a play for us right now when we need it. And I'm certain why. I think it was a 2nd and 5 when Bateman was running a little drag route and he threw it to Andrews instead. I'm certain that's what he was thinking. Because Bateman was more open than Andrews was, and theoretically he could have caught and ran, but Mark Andrews has been Lamar's guy from day one. He's made a lot of plays for Lamar. So he said, I'm going with Mark Andrews. He was farther downfield. He was past the sticks already, and then Mark dropped it.
So, he dropped it exactly. Hey, shout out to Coach for a $5 donation. Appreciate that. Coach says, "I will not get excited until we win in the Super Bowl." I hear that. No, I agree with you, right? Like, I'm going to celebrate this season. It was a great season. It ended in disappointment, but yeah, man, like at this point, we know what we are. I don't want to be a regular season team. We're better than that. Go out there and finish. All right. Like no more first time this or anything like that. You know exactly what it takes to win in the playoffs. You know what it takes to get over the hump. No more, you lost your nerves. Okay. And again, a lot of that falls on coaching as well. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's something that can't be changed. I don't think it can be changed. I think it's time for a change. So, I mean, we'll see.
And luckily, there's going to be plenty of changes. Not the particular one you're looking for, but there's going to be plenty of changes in Baltimore. I'm going to assume that Geno Stone and Patrick Queen are gone. I think Matabike should be gone as well, but we'll see. So. They might franchise tag him. Clowney and Van Noy are both free agents. John Simpson and Kevin Zeitler are both free agents. They've got a lot of guys who were important to this team who are not under contract for next season. They just lost Mike Macdonald to Seattle. He accepted the head coaching job there. Anthony Weaver, Zach Orr, and Jannard Wilson have been interviewing for various defensive coordinator jobs, although I think Zach Orr was interviewing for the Packers job, and that just got filled, so he might be back. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of turnover. So they're going to have the opportunity to steer this in a more positive direction, as opposed to saying, let's just run it back with the same coaching staff and the same players. You are muted.
Sorry, I was saying, let's talk about it. Seahawks hired Mike Macdonald. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think excellent hire. I think he's going to be an excellent head coach. Right. Congrats to the Seahawks. Congrats to Megan in the chat. Right. I think you know they're calling him the Sean McVay of defense. Mm-hmm. Right. Or defensive Sean McVay. Yeah, I see it. We'll see what kind of staff he puts together, but that's a loss for us. But the Ravens have been very consistent over the years in finding defensive coordinators, right? Not always great, but never really bad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to get a bad coordinator, whoever it is. We're going to end up with at the worst, a solid coordinator. The defense is not going to fall all the way off. Are we going to be this defense next year? Probably not, but it doesn't have to be. We still have a lot of talent, even if we let everybody go. And I think we need to let everybody go, right? Not cut people, but the free agents. Let them walk. Man, BK needs to walk. Patrick Queen needs to walk. Geno Stone needs to walk. Whoever else is coming up. Both edge rushers, Clowney, Van Noy, they all need to walk. It's not because I dislike any of them. I would love to see that whole defensive side come back, but let them go. 2 reasons. 1, we need to focus on the offense. Okay, hashtag defund the defense. We have limited resources. Okay. 2, we drafted a lot of people that haven't played yet. Right. We drafted edge rushers. They haven't gotten a lot of playing time. Ojabo hasn't played yet. We're all excited about the Ojabo pick, 2nd round pick. Now all of a sudden, because he got hurt a couple of times, you don't want him to play. No, he needs to go out there and play. Owe needs to go out there and play and show what he has. All right. We drafted Trenton Simpson. He needs to get out there and play. We drafted like 4 cornerbacks. They need to get out there and play. Okay. And if none of them can play, if none of these guys can play, Travis Jones, I ain't mentioned Travis Jones. If none of them can play, that's a problem we got to talk about with EDC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that there is a good shot that the defense takes a fall. Like I said, not that they'll be the worst defense in the league, but maybe closer to the middle of the pack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that Mike Macdonald got a lot more out of some of these guys than other defensive coordinators will be able to.
If they're 15th ranked, fine. I don't care. Right. And honestly, I don't even think they'll be that bad. Because here's why. I don't think everybody that I talked about is going to be awful. And we still have Roquan Smith. We still have Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams. Right. I mean, we can have a debate about Marlowe. Right. I think he'll still be solid. And we know they're going to add a couple pieces on the defense. They're not going to be a bad defense. Right. But they're not going to look like this defense this year. But that's okay, because that's the other thing too. The other reason why those guys need to go, the defensive coordinator that comes in, we don't know what kind of players he's going to want or need for his scheme. You know what I mean? So I don't want a bunch of people, especially the veterans, coming back and he doesn't want to use them. Right?
Yeah.
So let them go. And when that coordinator comes in, he can look at, okay, this guy will fit my scheme. That guy will fit my scheme, Yeah,
but the thing is, it's only okay for the defense to fall off a bit if they invest in the offense, and they are, historically averse to doing that, right? They don't like to spend money on offensive linemen, particularly. They don't like to spend money on wide receivers at all. They don't like to really spend money at running back. So, with Mike Macdonald leaving, potentially losing some other guys on the defensive staff, and losing a lot of defensive players, you're going to have to see a change in philosophy in the front office, and I'm not at all confident that that's going to happen. I think that Mike Macdonald, yeah, he was a great defensive coordinator. We'll see what kind of a head coach he is. Obviously, he's going to have to go out and find himself a really good offensive coordinator to handle that side of the ball. I think he'll probably bring some of those players from Baltimore over to Seattle with him.
Yep.
But I think he's going to find out also in the early going how difficult it can be if you don't have a quarterback like Lamar, because he's got Geno Smith over there, and Geno Smith isn't a bad quarterback, but Geno Smith is not a great quarterback.
True. And honestly, I mean, new head coach, he's going to want his guy at quarterback. I don't think Geno's going to be there much longer.
Well, no, I don't think he is either. He's over 30. The contract they signed him to was, I believe, only 3 years. So I mean, yeah, they're going to be looking most likely to move on from him. But that's it's the hardest thing to fix in the NFL if you don't have your quarterback.
No, it is. NET Sports saying the same thing you're saying. I don't trust EDC. I don't either. So when I say these things, understand, when I say this is what the Ravens need to do, this is not me saying this is what I believe they're going to do. I'm just saying this is what they need to do. And if they do those things, I think they'll be just fine. And I think it's the obvious thing in the world, right? I mean, when we first put out that hashtag defund the defense, people were kind of like, oh, what are you talking about? We need defense. We need defense. First of all, we weren't saying you don't need defense. We're saying you need to invest more offense than defense. You're spending too much on the defense, and it costs too much to maintain the defense. This is exactly what we've been telling you for years, right? We're coming up on 3 years now. I think 3 years doing this show next month.
Mm-hmm.
We've been saying this for 3 years. You're spending too much money on the defense, and it's going to cost you even more to maintain it. Okay, because you have to keep replenishing it on money-wise, with picks, all that, to maintain that level of play. And they're not expected to win the game. Okay. Right. Nobody's saying they held the Chiefs to 17 points. They did their job, but you didn't win.
Yeah.
Right. And if they're the groceries, like Coach says, they're the groceries, right? If they're the ones that you made an investment in, we should be saying they didn't do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we only scored 10 points, then they need to score 9.
Well, I mean, not even just that. They didn't do their job in terms of you didn't force any turnovers, right? You were the number one team in the league in terms of forcing turnovers. They were the number one team in the league in sacks. They got to Mahomes, I think, twice. And 0 against CJ Stroud, although that was more on Stroud than them. But but they didn't make plays. And the biggest thing, you didn't stop them on that last third down with 2 minutes left when you could have gotten the ball back for your offense and given them one more chance to tie the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you said, you're not going to blame them the way you do the offense, because we've seen it in our chat when they played Miami and the offense scored 30 plus points. People still blamed the offense, even when the defense gave up 4 touchdowns in the second half or the fourth quarter or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because they said, hey, the offense got to keep scoring. You got to keep scoring. They didn't score enough in the second half. Okay, well, you got to keep stopping them then. You can't give up first downs.
Yeah, no, that's what it takes. Now, because we all know that Lamar is the one that's going to be blamed if we don't progress, then invest in Lamar. That's what you're expecting us to take, to get us, over the hump. Why can't you, invest in a couple of linemen and at least one playmaker? Now, I don't want to say at least one. It's got to be at least 2, because one of the playmakers I'm thinking about is Saquon Barkley. That's not spending any money at all. Running backs don't cost anything.
Right. So
get Saquon Barkley. That shouldn't be a if. Don't settle for Derrick Henry, or you know what I'm saying, or let's look in the draft. No, just get Saquon Barkley. Pay him and then add somebody else. Why can't you make that investment? When we get into games like this and Lamar is looking a little tight, the offense looks out of sync, those are the guys that can get you back on track. Those are the guys, okay, I know he's going to get open, or I know I can hand him the ball. He's going to get me a couple first downs. He's going to make some chunk plays, and we can get back into rhythm. That's what we need.
Devon Allen says they did their job. The offense didn't do their job. You were the one in the chat saying it was the offense's fault they lost to Miami. No, man.
But no. But you so no. I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing, Devon. We're not talking about Sunday. We're talking about a couple years ago when Miami came back and scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, whatever it was. Right? We're talking about that game. In that game where we were way ahead and the defense let them back in it, we lost. People were saying
Devon says it wasn't him. Okay, maybe it wasn't you. I'm sorry then. If it wasn't you, I'm sorry. I thought it was you.
Yeah,
it was somebody else then.
Yeah. We're not talking
sorry,
about. Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about that game. It was last year. Yeah, it's last year. Yeah. See, he's talking about Sunday. We're not talking about Sunday. We're talking about we're talking about the Miami game as an example.
Comparison because when fans don't blame the defense regardless, is what we're saying. Yeah. But they do blame the offense regardless. Yeah. But yes, this past weekend, obviously the offense didn't do their job.
Yeah. No. Well,
but our point is, if you're going to invest that heavily in the defense, then you should have that same level of critique for the defense that you always have for the offense, no matter what.
Yes, that's the point we're trying to make.
I don't hear anybody saying what's wrong with Kyle Hamilton, Roquan, Queen, and them because they didn't force a single incompletion on Travis Kelce. No one's saying that. Everybody's just saying you did your job.
Yeah, and I think they did a job, but I mean, Roquan seemed pretty quiet. You didn't really see him make any big plays. No tackles for loss, no sacks.
He had that big personal foul.
Yeah,
they had several personal fouls.
I think that was BS.
I mean, you can say it was BS or not, but like if you just come across and tap them like every single other player does, it doesn't get called regardless.
Yeah,
I think taunting is a BS penalty. Period.
Yeah,
but if you get up and you throw the ball in the dude's face and you're doing all that, you're gonna get called for taunting.
He did a whole lot there.
He did. He did so much, man. Like
I was so mad. But I was like, yeah, he did. You did do a lot there, man.
Yeah, he did. But he was excited. Yeah,
he was. I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at Zay Flowers at all because he's a rookie. And he's out there trying to make plays. I felt bad for him, especially when he fumbled at the goal line, right? Like people get so upset at those things, man. Like, well, how'd you drop the ball there? It's not like he slammed the ball midair, right? He said, "I don't want this thing." Like he was trying to make a play, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good play by the Jerry Sneed, man. Yeah. It's a good play, but I just hope he comes out there with the same kind of fire next year. I don't want him to change anything. Yeah. So no, I'm proud of the way he played as a rookie, man, because he's out there trying to be that guy for Lamar right now. He's not ready to be that guy yet. It's hard to do that. It's hard to be the man at wide receiver.
Yeah, but nobody else is trying to.
Yeah.
Nobody else is stepping up trying to be the guy.
Yeah. So Omar said facts B, Roquan sold the offsides too hard. Yeah, I didn't think they should have thrown a flag there. I mean, it wasn't like he went in and banged helmets on the dude. Like he just kind of he shoved him.
Pretty much did. Roquan said, "If I can't hit you between the whistles, I'm hitting something today."
Oh man! Hey, what's going on, Dan? He said he dove for the 30-yard line. And he was like MJ ducking for the free throw.
Okay, but he's an incredible athlete. And listen, y'all can't be in here talking about the offense wouldn't have done anything anyway, and then be like, don't reach for the goal line. How does that make sense? It's the same thing with when people point out Bateman being open downfield. Well, okay, you complaining about that, but you also say stop taking so many deep shots. What is it?
So, I mean, options at defensive coordinator.
Well, that's the other thing. Just Allo a while ago put it in there that I guess there's some rumor about him hiring T. Martin as his OC for Seattle. And this is something that you see when guys get hired. We're going to talk about it a little bit with Carolina as well. Guys who leave your staff to be head coaches, take your staff with them a lot of times.
They poach,
So we got to wait a few days, maybe a week or two to see who is even left on Baltimore staff. But they could have a lot of spots to fill.
It's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I thought about the defensive side because the talks that Weaver or whoever else could go with them, right? I didn't even think about the offensive side because T. Martin got interviewed. Was it by the Bills or somebody last year for offensive coordinator position? I can't remember who it was, but he got an interview, and I was like, oh man, he could be out of here. Yeah, he could get poached. So that's another spot to fill. So yeah, we do have to see, but they better. I would have been told Anthony Weaver, yeah, the job is yours. He should have, I want to say he should have got it over Mike Macdonald because he was on the staff, but
yeah,
look, they made the right choice with Mike Macdonald. I can't, I can't get mad at that. But I do think they're going to get a defensive coordinator. I do think this is still going to be a good defense. Could if they have a quote unquote big drop off, to middle of the pack, wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. But the offense is all I really care about at this point. It's so easy to make that next leap with the offense by getting Lamar weapons. It's not as hard as they try to make it seem to be. It really isn't.
It's not difficult at all.
It's so easy to get him some weapons and really put your team over the top. And that whatever happens on the defense won't even matter.
I mean, look at what the Lions are doing with Jared Goff.
Yeah.
It's not, we always talk about getting the quarterback is going to turn everything around for you. It doesn't turn everything around for you because it's just one player, even though it is the most important position. But getting the quarterback makes everything else so much easier that you can't imagine your team not getting it done is the thing. But sometimes your team's really incompetent and they don't get it done.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Carolina.
Y'all listen to Danity. 102 people in the chat. Hit the like button and subscribe for more. Hashtag road to 2,000. Salute, Danity. I appreciate you. All right. She also posted our Cash App, right? $, LBHT Show. That's right there below B. All right. And that pin link is there now. Okay. For our, it's in the chat box for.
I believe you froze.
I froze?
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Like you said, the Cash App is right there below me. $, LBHT Show. I believe the link is in the chat. Oh, and Jose's back.
You couldn't hear me before?
No, you froze and went off screen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everything was fine on my end. But yes. The link is in the chat box. It's pinned to the chat box. That's for our Stream Elements page. Okay. That's how we do super chat around here. Both ways. Whether it's the chat box or it's the Stream Elements or the Cash App, you leave your donation, leave your comment, you get a nice little animation right here. All right. We appreciate the support. Also, right below B, patreon.com/LBHT Show. We have goals there too. All right. We're trying to get to 100 patrons. We are a little bit more than halfway there. All right. So if you have as little as $5 in your pockets, and I know you do. All right. Put down that Snickers bar. Okay, well, you go to the checkout line and you look at the candy bars that used to be 50 cents or for some of you $1. All right, now it's you can get 2 for $5 for the regular size. Just don't even worry about that. Just say no. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Okay, we do a whole extra show after this for patrons only called the Overtime Show. All right, it's a lot of fun. What's going on, Christian? Salute to you. Through, we do a whole nother show. We do the Overtime Show, and tonight we're going to be talking about it's a bad topic. It's a bad topic. We're not going to get into all the graphic things that this dirty man did. All right, but we're gonna he's on trial and he's guilty. He's already guilty. Yeah. We're gonna discuss that and maybe bring up some other bad people from around the sports world. Okay, but that's going to be the topic. Also, we have a Discord. That's always jumping. People are probably talking in there right now. That's a lot of fun. You get a lot for $5. So consider signing up. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. What else we got here? What's going on, Jerry? Jerry says, what's with John Harbs holding a play sheet during the game? He usually just stands there doing nothing.
Maybe that's the sheet that had all the runs on it. I don't know.
He was like, we're not gonna use this anyway.
What's up, Raven Ryan? What's up, LBHT? I'm getting blown up by Seahawks fans up here asking about Coach Mack. I said he's terrible. Give him back.
Right. You don't want that guy. He was just trying to play the part. Yeah. You know, it took some of you guys a while. But you're starting to come to see what we've been telling you for 3 years, that Harbaugh is not that guy. Okay. Harbaugh should have been fired. I'm not even going to say he sucks. I'm not going to, we don't go to those extremes. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think it's not going to work. Right? Him and Lamar, they've gone as far as they can go together. He's not the guy.
He's a very bad coach now. He used to be a good coach. He's a very bad coach now.
Very bad? Oh, no, I don't think he's very bad.
How many playoff games have they lost the exact same way?
He chokes, for sure.
But that's not even, I can't call that choking. I can't even call that choking because he's not even trying. He didn't get the food into his mouth in order to choke. He's not even attempting.
He choked on the spit. I don't know.
No, he is a bad coach. Because you know why he's a bad coach? Because he coaches scared.
Shout out to Anonymous for the 333 donation. Appreciate it. Says, I watched coaches breakdown of the offense, and Bateman was open a lot downfield, but he was never Lamar's first read. Yes, yeah, that's a big part of it. So could it be coaching thing with Bateman? With Bateman, yes, yeah. When you don't have a lot of time to throw, and you're not the first read, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they don't, I don't want to say they don't throw a lot, but I think that they, as a staff, probably trust Zay more. They trust Odell more. They trust Mark Andrews more. They love throwing the tight ends. Lamar loves throwing the tight ends. So yeah, I mean, he's down the list a bit. He hasn't shown that he has great hands. He hasn't shown to be a playmaker when he gets the ball. So it's the same thing with kind of that I feel like is going on with Gus and Justice in these games. They don't feel any urgency in getting him the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas, with other guys on the team, with Zay, they feel like they have to get the ball in his hands. And you don't feel that about Rashad Bateman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we've all thought that Rashad Bateman is a very skilled player. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Legerius put a spin move on nobody. And Bateman was just gone. Like he had he I don't know what he thought was going on, but he did a spin move like Bateman was gonna block him or something, and then he ran the wrong direction. It was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's time for Harbaugh to go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Me and B don't personally think Todd Monken is that good. Right. I'm not saying he's bad. We just think he's all right. We think there's better options. But to be fair, we don't know. Like, we could just be wrong, right? But we're never going to really find out his full potential under Harbaugh. Like, I don't think Todd Monken can fully, lay out the offense that he wants to run with Harbaugh running the show.
And Harbaugh has said that publicly, that, whatever coordinator they hire is going to run their offense within the Ravens' philosophy, which you keep saying that, but you don't have a philosophy. So.
That's what's crazy, right? If that was coming from an offensive-minded coach, you would say, all right, man, he knows his offense, right? Like, he wants to run a certain way. He wants to do in a certain way. Even a defensive-minded coach, you can understand more like, hey, he wants to run the ball here, and you expect him to run the ball a lot. But what is the Ravens' philosophy? What is Harbaugh's philosophy? He doesn't know. He's a special teams coach.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's like, well, I guess whatever works, but let's just play it safe. His philosophy is play it safe. Play it safe, win a close game. That's what he wants to do.
His philosophy is I'm scared. Yeah. That's what it is. And it's hilarious because that's also Ron Rivera's philosophy, but then they started calling him Riverboat Ron. He was like, I better go for it some more. But yeah, Ron Rivera came out one day and said he wants to win 7-6.
Yeah.
Well, that means you don't want to win.
Even though he had a similar season like this with Cam, y'all went 15-1 and blowing teams out. And he's like, nah, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That's
Bring me
crazy.
a backup defensive tackle.
I don't understand how you can have this much success against good teams. You can go on the road or play at home and beat teams by 30 and not say, I want more. Right?
Again, because he's scared. They are scared of expectation and they're scared of failing. And, when you fail this way, the way they failed multiple times, you can tell yourself, and they do, that's just kind of the way it went. Like it was, we didn't play our game.
This is why
the only reason you didn't play your game is because you decided to not play your game.
This is why I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl next year. Again, how I'm running the show, I don't know. I'm picking them just on principle. They're going to go because they're not going to have this type of expectation next year. Even if they're a good team in the regular season, people are going to say, well, they're going to choke anyway, right? Mm-hmm. We may not even get the number 1 seed or even number 2. Who knows? But we'll be in the playoffs for sure, and we'll have that underdog title again. Okay, we could float under the radar again. Man, I'm tired of winning that way. Okay, I want to be what the Chiefs are now. Just every year, AFC Championship game, people are just sick of seeing us. All right, that's what I want for the Ravens. We've been doing that underdog stuff. Enough of that. Yeah. Okay, dominate these teams. Let them know you are the man, and there's nothing you can do about it. Keelan says Harbaugh and Rivera come from the same coaching tree. They both don't value offense and rely on talent to win. They're not technicians.
Yep. Yeah, and we talked about it many times. That Panthers team relied on Cam Newton on offense and Luke Kuechly on defense, and there was not a lot of talent to fill in the rest of that roster. Baltimore has more talent than that Carolina team had, but it's the same kind of philosophy. They rely on Lamar on offense. Now they got Macdonald in there, and they got a lot of talent on defense, and that changed. But offensively, they just rely on Lamar to get it done. And they've convinced their fans of that. That's why people were in here talking about Lamar needed to run more. Oh, Lamar needed to change more plays at the line. Like, no. You have coaches for a reason. You have running backs for a reason. Like, it's not all on Lamar, but that's the way they've built it. That's the way they want it.
Yeah, I don't, that's why it seems like we're always, defending Lamar, because you guys don't realize how ridiculous you sound when you say stuff like that, right? Yes, he has the ability, and you're like, oh, he could have ran it there, could have got first down. Yeah, but when you're saying it over and over and over, oh, there's a few times he should just ran a few times. Like that's what you expect from your quarterback.
He ran 8 times. and that's why we asked somebody in the chat the other day, like, who else would you say that about? What other quarterback in the NFL would you say that about when they had 8 runs for 50-something yards and led your team in rushing? Who else would you say that about? Just Lamar.
Just Lamar. That's unacceptable. That's ridiculous. And that is god-awful coaching.
Yeah, because he's a god-awful coach. We're going to go ahead and wrap that one up, though.
Okay, before you transition over there, all right, like we're gonna do a video, another video, kind of laying out our plans for the Ravens in the offseason. We might do a couple videos on this, 2 or 3 videos. We'll see, but we definitely have one coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. And yes, it is time to transition. All right, but look, still 100 people in here. Hit that like button if you're new. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Shout out to Job Bigby over on Facebook. All right, hitting that like. Shout out to the people. Oh, we got some people on Twitch watching. What? Okay, all right. Shout out to the 2 people on Twitch. All right. As we transition over there, you see what's right below my name, LBHTShow.com. Yes, we have a website. We have updated. We also got a store on there, LBHTShow.com/shop, where you can get some dope gear like what I'm wearing, like what B's wearing. All right. All kinds of things on there. Check it out. But when you go to LBHTShow.com, you'll get a pop-up. Okay. It's going to ask you to sign up for our newsletter. Newsletter ain't out yet. Working on it. But sign up. Sign up and let us know that you signed up. Just put your email address in there. We're not going to spam you. All right. But let us know that you signed up, and you get 1,000 points. Now, what are those points for? at the end of each month. In fact, it is the end of the month. So next week, are we doing tonight or are we doing next week?
We're doing it next week. This is the last day of the month.
Last day of the month. So each month we give away prizes, real prizes. All right. So the person with the most points gets a prize within a certain amount of money, depending on how well we did that month. And then the second prize is a drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. And all you need to do to qualify for that drawing is get 1,000 points. So sign up for our newsletter. That's a quick 1,000 points. Sign up to Patreon. I'm not sure how many points you get for sign up to Patreon. You get a lot of points to sign up to Patreon. Donating get you points, even if you don't have any money to spend. Okay, it's right after the holiday season. You ain't got the money like that. Just doing what you're doing right now, participating in the chat, just watching, subscribing if you haven't subscribed. All those things will get you points. All right, and like what Agent E is doing, Jeremy is doing in the chat, typing in !points will tell you exactly how many points you have. Right, Jeremy has 3,155 points right now. So he qualifies for the drawing. Now, if you do ! Top, like Agent E is doing, it will show you who the top 10 people are. Okay. Buck is number 1. Yolanda B is 2. Hendo from the Roll Pod is 3. Okay. It's a pretty tight race this month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. See, Buck is hyped. He's hyped. So yes, just we're encouraging participation. We're trying to build a tight community. So this is a way that we engage with you guys. So keep doing what you're doing. All right, what is next, B?
Next, we need to talk about Luka Doncic.
Wait. Okay, wait. So wait, we got to get our.
Yeah, you go ahead and get that ready because we are about to enter.
Okay, hold on. All rise. Court is now in session. Okay, this one is it's near and dear to my heart. Okay, because me and Luka, we're like this. I call him Fat Luka.
Because you're a hater.
I'm not a hater. He's my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
He's my guy. Okay. Last week in our fantasy basketball league, he scored me 91 points. All right. He scored 70 points, actual points in the game last week. Okay. Luka, are we saying he's the best player in the league? He's like top 3.
He's up there. He's up there. I wouldn't give him the best right now, but he's up there.
Luka Doncic is he's the best player in our fantasy basketball league. He's my best friend. And and he is on trial here because people want to fat shame him. Now, he's not actually fat. I call him Fat Luka because he likes to eat. He looks like he looks like he's not that athletic,
Right.
but he is an amazing basketball player. All right.
Yes.
And shout out to Buck for the 420 donation. Appreciate you, Buck.
Thank you, Buck.
Says Luka, ho, what? Where'd you learn to talk like that, Buck? Okay, all right. So tell the people what happened here.
Okay, listen. Luka was playing basketball, as he does. He's a professional basketball player. And a fan was talking some trash to him. Talking some trash all through the first half. Talking trash into the second half. Luka sat down, and at one point, the fan said to him, "Hey, Luka," I forget the first part.
I got you. Okay. You. It's right here. Luka Doncic.
Luka, you're tired. Get your ass on the treadmill. And then Luka, as it says in the tweet here, asked security to eject the Suns fan who was sitting 2 rows behind the midcourt press row. And then security went and injected him. So, I think what we need to discuss here is it okay for fans to heckle players that way? And is it okay for players to kind of let that get to them, ask security to remove these fans? Go ahead. You can start there.
Okay, so I want to go back to one of my first experiences going to an NBA game. Shout out to my friend Donnie, man. He actually he got tickets, and he was like, "Yo, let's go watch the Wizards play," right? And me, Donnie, my guy Sean, Daoud might have been with us too. We were relatively close, right? We were on the lower level, but there's a lot of fans in there. That it was still when I don't even know if I want to say who was playing. I don't want to date myself. Juwan Howard was still on the team, right?
Wait, did that not go through?
What didn't go through?
I put a donation up.
Oh, well, don't put up yet. I'm telling the story.
Well, I mean, it came in and now.
Okay, well now I gotta read it.
But it didn't come up though. So continue, and I'll work on that.
Okay. Now, yes, Juwan Howard. If you don't know who Juwan Howard is, man, Jesus, he used to be a very good NBA player, and he played for the Wizards. And we went to go watch the Wizards play. The Wizards were bad at this point, right? And I thought, okay, there was still a good amount of people in there, and we were far enough back, and I ain't think nothing of it. I was like, okay, just having fun. But Donnie and Sean were heckling this dude, right? We're behind their bench, right? And Donnie was just yelling, Juwan, you suck, right? And Juwan turned around and looked at us. And I was like, he can hear us? I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, we probably shouldn't say that then, not we. I wasn't saying anything, but they were screaming at him. He turned around and looked like F y'all. And I was like, damn, they can hear from all the way back here. So that guy was closer. Right?
He was right behind the bench.
Right behind the bench.
And it looks like this is not working for whatever reason. Lady Ram 33 donated $5, so thank you very much. There was no message with it, but I wanted to say thank you there.
You sent it through? It didn't
go
through?
It didn't come up.
I'll reset it on my side. I apologize for that. Okay. We'll see.
You should apologize. But go ahead and you tell me, is it okay for fans to heckle the players like that?
I think within reason, it's fine. Now, they said the guy was pretty tame about it. He wasn't yelling at them, but you don't need to yell at them. You're right there. I think I hate to say this, man, about my best friend Luka, but man, you just got to take that, man. Like from what I understand, he wasn't. I mean, he cursed at them a little bit, but I don't think it was over the top. He didn't say anything offensive. He just called you fat. Well, man, you're fat, Luka, bro.
That's offensive to Luka. You don't get to decide what offends Luka.
Man, yes, you're right. You're right. I'm defending my best friend Luka here. No, man, no. Listen, it was too tame. If he says something a little bit more offensive, a little bit more, damn, man, that was a little foul. All right, fine. But if all he called you was fat, I mean, they said he was doing it for a few quarters, so who knows what else he said. That's the last thing that I guess we know about, but it could have been worse. I don't know. But if the other things were in line with that, damn, man, the guys that you're playing against say worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Typically I would agree with you on this, because okay, you're just saying, told him to get on the treadmill, whatever. Like, I don't know why he even heard that. Like, but whatever. But I'm gonna go the other direction on this. I'm gonna say no, it's not okay. You know why? Because it just like anything else in society, it's not about the people who use it responsibly. It's about the people who go to the extremes with it, right? So we can't sit here and say it's okay to heckle players, because then you get groups of fans in there, chanting racist stuff, chanting stuff about your family, and all this kind of thing, going way over the line.
Yes.
And it's not okay to do that at all. And you know what? If you all can't behave, then nobody gets to do it. All right. So, and people say, "Oh, I bought my ticket. That gives me that." It doesn't give you a right to do anything except watch the game. That's what that ticket gives you a right to do. It gives you a right to sit in the seat that you pay for and watch them play basketball. That's all that you have the right to do. Because eventually, again, the fans get real comfortable, and they get real familiar, and they cross the line, and you have somebody throwing a beer onto Ron Artest while he's attempting to cool down and avoid conflict, and then fans are getting their ass kicked, and then all of a sudden it's a big deal, right? Because nobody said after that, "Hey, we said some vile things, we threw things at the players, it's okay for them to come and defend themselves or to come and retaliate." Nobody said that. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, you can't have these thugs attacking fans." Well, you can't have fans attacking players either, right? We saw in the Philadelphia game when they lost, that fan throwing popcorn on the coach. That's not okay, right? We've seen in Buffalo a bunch of fans throwing. I'm going to go with objects onto the field. That's not okay. We've seen Philly fans throwing batteries on the field. That's not okay. And that comes from the attitude of, "Hey, I paid, I can do what I want." No, you can't. And you know what? That fan found out the hard way, because Luka's got super thin skin. He's got a lot of it, but it's super thin. And he got the security over there and got you up out of there. So it is what it is, right? Keep your mouth shut. Just watch the game.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. I can't. Like I said, trash talking, but again, like, how far do we take it? Where's the cutoff? Because if they boo the player, do you get kicked out for that?
You're not booing anybody specifically. You're booing the performance of the team.
Well, they're booing a player. Like, boo, I don't like.
But that's okay. You're booing the performance of the team. That's fine. That's not personal. That's not trash talking a specific player or anything like that. That's just booing the show, essentially.
So as I said, slippery slope either way. Because so you can't say a player sucks, or you can't say I hate you.
Hey, you know what? Not to that player. Okay.
What about when people chant airball?
That's just describing the event that they just witnessed. I don't understand. I don't understand where you're going with this. Like, no. What do you mean?
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question.
Okay. Yeah.
The other day, the Lakers lost to the Hawks, right?
That's not a question. That's just an embarrassing statement. Why would you?
Well, the fans started chanting because there've been talks about them being interested in DeJounte Murray, and possibly giving up D'Angelo Russell, right? Mm-hmm. The fans, the Hawks fans started chanting to D'Angelo when he was on the court, "We don't want you." Are they guilty, sir?
All right, listen. There's Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell. There are certain players who this clause does not apply to. You say whatever you want to D'Angelo Russell. No, I think that's it's a different thing, and it's taken differently by athletes to have a crowd chanting something as opposed to one person, kind of one-on-one harassing you all game long. Mm-hmm. I think it's a different thing. That's pretty funny though.
There we go.
And again, what were they? What were they doing?
33 Lady Ram.
What were they doing outside? Because you don't even know. Like, all they were doing is letting him know, "Hey, man, we don't really particularly want you on the team. We're trying to help our GM out, trying to help your GM out, and help you make a better decision, get to a better place in your career, because it's not going to be here. Yeah, we're not going to enjoy this."
All right, I got 33 Lady Rams donation. I appreciate that.
Thank
Shout out
you.
to D Weezy for the donation as
Thank
well.
you, Dave.
He says Bucks have an in-game promo for the fans. If any player airballs 2 straight free throws, that eyes, what is that? Free throws that across the line. Oh, is that across the line? Is that across the line? Is what he's asking.
No, again, you're not. That's not anything personal against the player. That's not. Hey, we'll give you a free burrito because Giannis sucks. Like, no, it's not that. It's just, hey, if this thing happens in the game, here you go. They do that all the time with the points too. That's not saying, hey, other team, your defense sucks. It's just, hey, we scored 100 points. Here's a free taco.
All right, put it in the chat. We'll wrap this up. Is Luka guilty or not guilty? Now, I just want to remind you guys, anybody that's trying to say Luka is being soft, Luka, he took it too far, right? I just want to remind you, the man got me 91 points the other night in my fantasy basketball league.
And Luka's one of the biggest trash talkers in the league.
Like, the man's averaging like 58 points per game. All right. I need this man healthy and on the court. I can't have him doing any time. All right. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Not guilty. Luka's innocent. That's you.
That's right. Thank you, Jeremy.
My Buck says guilty.
So he only saying that because it was a Suns fan.
Just Alice says, Brodny, you made some very good arguments. You were concise, insightful, and factual, but Luka is guilty.
That's not the kind of support I'm looking for, just
All right. Look, well, we got more not guilty than guilty. Okay,
that's right, because he's not guilty. Because listen, it's just like anything else, right? They say much worse things to each other on the court. Yeah. 100%. Luka knows them. He don't know you. They can say things to him that you can't say to him. That's what it is.
Heckling is okay, but within reason. Yes, even if it's light heckling, all game long, just shut up. Because seriously, just shut up. Because it could be light, but if you're saying it loud enough for him to hear, the people around you can hear it too.
Yeah,
and don't be that guy, right? Like, you're just always talking because other people just want to watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit here and there is cool, but all game, and we see. I mean, I've been to enough games. Like, you see people out there that they're not necessarily like saying anything offensive, but they're just acting like idiots,
just all day. And that brings me to another point. Standing up at the game all day, all throughout the game. We're gonna put that on trial. Guess what? Guilty. Sit down.
Yeah.
Because it's not a personal decision. Because when you stand up, then the person behind you has to stand up to see, and then the person behind them has to stand up, and the person behind them has to stand up. It's nonsense. Sit down.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to pop up every now and then. You get excited or whatever. Sit back down. Yeah.
So Luka's innocent. That fan is guilty. Next time, I bet you sit down and shut up.
I bet if Luka has his way, there won't be a next time.
He'll be back. I'm sure he has enough money. He spent a good amount of money on those seats. But you spend a good amount of money, and you find out who has the real power.
Listen, they don't care about the amount of money you spend. Like Charles Oakley, he put blood, sweat, and tears onto that court, and that dude said, "Get him out forever."
Dolan might be another person we talk about in the overtime show, because he's on that Vince McMahon trajectory. All right, what we got next?
Well, next we got to take down the thing there, and then we got to there we go. Next up, we've got the Carolina Panthers putting together their offensive staff.
Yes.
So like what we were talking about with Baltimore and Mike Macdonald, possibly raiding Baltimore staff on his way to Seattle. He's following in Dave Canales' footsteps because Dave Canales has hired at least 3 assistants at this point from Tampa Bay. The wide receiver coach, Brad Idzik, is coming over to Carolina as the offensive coordinator. Harold Goodwin, who was the run game coordinator and assistant head coach, is coming over in that same role. And Joe Gilbert, who's the offensive line coach in Tampa, is coming over to be the offensive line coach in Carolina. They've also hired a couple other guys, a couple former players, and Bernie Parmalee. If you don't remember him, he was a running back for the Browns and the Dolphins in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And then Rob Moore, who was a wide receiver for the, at that point, I believe they were Phoenix Cardinals around the same time. And they're coming over as running back and wide receiver coaches, respectively.
Now, Panthers fans, don't even worry about it. I know you guys are wondering, hey, okay, new head coach, what's the staff going to look like? How these guys going to do? I can tell you for a fact that Brad Isaac is going to be fine. I vetted him thoroughly yesterday because it's easy to guess that any coach in the league came from somebody that worked in the league, right? And I was like, Isaac, that name sounds familiar, but I was really thinking of Chiswick, right? But I was like, oh, okay, they're not related. But I was like, but Isaac is related to somebody, and I looked him up. His father spent decades in the league, a little bit of coaching, a lot of time in the front office. He worked for the Bucks at some point, like a few years ago. He's had a lot of roles from assistant coach all the way up to, I think, assistant GM or GM, president, football operations, whatever. Like his father's been around the league for a long time. So don't worry. Okay. He's vetted. He is a nepotism hire. It's fine. He's good. But no. But all seriousness, that Miles Sanders.
Mars says Miles Sanders trash. The backup better than him. Tell you what, he better than all your running backs.
Ooh, yes.
I saw Justice Hill doing a performance art piece out there in the backfield, running up to defenders and diving out of the way, not touching a single one when he was supposed to be picking up blitzes. Why don't you go talk to him about that instead of worrying about Miles Sanders?
We don't have any guys on our team, none. And I know you guys are going to say Keaton Mitchell hasn't shown enough yet. He doesn't count as anything. He's ungraded, and Miles Sanders, I would take over all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did he have a great year? No, that O-line was awful. The coaching staff was not anything that I thought it would be. Right, Frank Wright did a terrible job. He deservedly got fired. But I think this year, not saying they're going to turn into Super Bowl contenders, but I think they're going to look a lot different. They're going to be very competitive. And what I thought I was going to see out of his coaching staff this year, I actually think you're going to get that next season because Canales is getting guys that he's already worked with, and they're all on the same page. Isaac is going to run Canales' offense.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to. There's not going to be any back and forth in meetings. There's not going to be any, well, I think he should be running this play, but he's actually running this play. It's not going to be any of that. They're on the same page.
Hold on. Well, Evil Mars says Gus better than Miles. And I want all of Flock Nation, everyone in Baltimore and the surrounding area to know this is why you lose every goddamn year in embarrassing fashion, because you think players who aren't good are great. Like, yeah, Miles had a terrible season on a team with no O-line, no passing game, all this stuff. Miles was coming off a 1,200-yard rushing season the year before, bro.
I know Evil Lamar. He's trolling. He doesn't really believe that. He's just trolling.
He believes it.
No. I don't even want to say Gus's name anymore because we had this argument 2 years ago when you guys were arguing that Gus was a top 5 running back.
Mm-hmm.
A disastrous debate. Okay.
but it's stuff like that. Oh, Gus is good. Oh, why don't you just throw it to Rashad? Oh man, we don't need DeAndre Hopkins. We've got 4 first-round wide receivers. That's why y'all keep losing. Congrats.
Danny said you got your guy.
That's right.
Noah says the Carolina Buccaneers. Hey,
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. They won the division the last couple of years. It's okay. I'll take that.
Canales has done an excellent job with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks that a lot of people have written off. Right?
Yeah.
So this is another challenge for him. And Bryce Young isn't nearly as bad as what he showed, and I think everybody knows that, right? You're gonna have some people that say, "Oh no, he ain't it," but for the most part, everybody they understood what they saw out there, and he didn't really get a fair shot last year to succeed. With Canales, I think he will.
Yeah, I think they are gearing up to give them the time that they need. He got a 6-year deal. They know that the team is in shambles right now, and it's going to take time to turn it around. I think that Tepper thought, like a lot of the fans thought, hey, we got our quarterback. I'm putting together this great coaching staff, and this is a bad division. We'll be in the playoffs next year. Some of the players thought that too.
Just Al says none of our wide receivers or running backs could start for any other team in the NFL.
That's Zay would.
Zay would be Zay, Bateman, Odell, and Aguilar could have all started for the Panthers last year.
No, they couldn't. I think you're forgetting Adam Thielen, sir.
You would.
And listen. Now, I'm not saying their guys are good. Adam Thielen would have been one starter. Yeah. Zay would have started over everybody in Carolina. Odell was nothing. So look, no, Odell was nothing.
I'm trying to make an argument for
Bateman,
how bad.
Bateman probably would.
Yes.
DJ Chark. He's a more proven receiver, but he's proven to not be good.
Yeah.
But so I think Bateman probably would. Zay would have been the number one. Odell was nothing.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. LaVisca. Money. LaVisca Chenault. No, I'm making a point how bad Bryce Young had it last year. He had it very bad. What else we got here? I would love to keep Nelly as a wide receiver 3 or 4. Oh yeah, Nelson Aguilar. He's not going anywhere. He accepted his role. He's thriving in his role. He's going to be just fine. Noah thinks Bryce Young's going to be the comeback player of the year. That's crazy.
And I think it's nonsense. I think it's absolute nonsense that he's even eligible for that award.
Yeah.
He's not coming back from anything. He just sucked.
Yeah. Spooky J talking a little boxing. I'm gonna bring this up because Ring King's podcast is coming back very shortly. All right. Shakur talking about Shakur Stevenson faking retirement for clout. He's not faking retirement for clout. He's faking retirement because he's frustrated that he can't get any fights.
Right? And I don't think he's even faking retirement, because I saw yesterday also that several people around him said he's absolutely not retiring, and not sure where the story came from.
Him. No, he said he's going to retire, but it was out of frustration. He was just yeah, nobody, because the latest thing is
I'm gonna take my ball and go home.
Well, yeah, I can see why he's a little frustrated. Like he had fights set up and then they fell through. He's actively trying to fight guys. Haney moved up in weight. I know we get into boxing real quick, but Haney moved up in weight after them going back and forth. He just can't get a fight with Tank right now. He's not on Tank's list at the moment. He had a fight set up with Frank Martin, and Frank Martin just backed out. Right? He's trying to get a fight with Lomachenko. They're trying to set up a fight with Lomachenko in Kambosos.
Lomachenko has the fight set with Kambosos.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying it's set already. It's not. They're not doing it anymore or trying anymore. It's set.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he tried it. He can't get that. And there's another fighter that's coming up from a different weight class. I forget. I think it was a guy he already beat. But that guy's getting a title fight right out the gate. So I think that's the last straw for him. He's just like, man, I don't want to deal with this. And I fully understand. I heard Deontay Wilder say it on a podcast one time how draining it is, the business side of boxing. He was like, it'll take it out of you. Like you by the time you get a fight set up and everything and everything's done, you don't even want to fight anymore. So I believe him on that. All right, we got that and that was your combat corner, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, no, like you mentioned, Carolina last year, they went with the diversity and thought thing. They got a bunch of guys who people kind of thought were not necessarily gurus, but were skilled in certain areas, who had succeeded elsewhere, but had never worked together. Threw them all in a room and like, hey man, this is going to be awesome. And then turns out that Tepper had multiple spies in the room. It got very toxic. Obviously, the coach, Frank Reich, got fired midseason, and it just all fell apart. They screwed over Thomas Brown in his career arc. He just signed on to be the pass game coordinator for the Chicago Bears. So, I mean, he took a step back from coming to Carolina. I think, obviously you're going in the opposite direction that you did last year with Tampa Bay or with Dave Canales and bringing several assistants from Tampa Bay. These are all guys he's worked with. He worked with most of them in Seattle as well, right? Like, so they know they work well together. They're all on the same page already. And it should be a smoother transition, hopefully, than what Carolina saw last year.
Yeah. What's going on, Warbone?
Thanks
for coming through. Danny says, love to see another Hispanic coach get hired. It's been a good season of hiring black coaches. Still need more.
Yeah.
Salute.
There's one more opening. And they're like, at this point, they're just, the league makes it very obvious when they are colluding against an individual. But like, everybody who you had on your list in Washington has gone back to their former jobs, and you're not talking to Airbnb enemy still.
Well, they say he's they say he's still a candidate.
Yeah. No, I know they interviewed him and all that, but
he might be a serious one this time.
We'll see.
He might be a serious one. I Magic Johnson is part of the ownership now too.
Magic Johnson ain't got no say.
I think he does.
He ain't got no say.
I think he has a lot of influence.
I don't think he does. You're talking about guys who have more money than him, and he has a very small part of the team.
It's not all about the money. I think he has a lot of influence. I'm not saying he's not the chairman, obviously, but I think he has I think they absolutely take what he says seriously. I think that's part of the reason why he invested.
I think he's just like Cal Ripken in the Baltimore Orioles sale, just like who was it? Diddy when he putting together a bid. It's a name that they can throw out there to get people talking about their bid, and they're not really involved.
I disagree because Magic Johnson is a well-known businessman, right? Yeah. He might be even more known for that now than his basketball at this point, right? Like I don't think he's going to get involved in the business just to be a figurehead. Yeah,
he will, because he's going to make a ton of money. He's a businessman.
He's a businessman. Yeah.
Same thing. Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez and whoever else bought into those teams down in Florida, like they're big names, and all these groups like to have big names attached.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like they're going to listen to him. I'm not saying he has a final say or anything like that. But if he says,
listen, man, and look, I know it's Twitter, and I'm sure he's very different in person, particularly behind the scenes. But my man's sports analysis is like Michael Irvin. Man, when it was cold, we was cold. That's how he tweets 100% of the time.
100% facts. Okay.
With the Lakers,
no lies detected.
Tonight, the Lakers need to outscore their opponent. All right, thanks, Magic. Cool.
All right, but we all agree Panthers, they're on the right track. And we're going to be talking a lot about them this offseason too, because they have a lot of moves that they can make with limited amount of resources. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. Yeah. All right, moving this along.
His name is not at stake, man. And that's not how you spell that. But his name is not at stake. Nobody thinks less of Michael Jordan because he's a terrible owner.
Magic Johnson, his name might be on a stake. He might sell some Magic Johnson stakes.
All right, so we're gonna go. We gotta get moving. It's submitted questions time.
Submitted questions time. You also get points if you read your question on air. Submit it however you can get it to us. We put up a community tab. You can post your question there. You can DM us everywhere at LBHT Show. All right. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Rude.
How am I rude? I'm just telling you.
But hold on. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky. All of it is at LBHT Show. You can DM us. You can email us, LBHTshow@gmail.com. All those ways you can get your questions to us. And Don't do it like Mr. J and send us a question after the show started. All right, get it to us ahead of time. All right, and if you read it on air, you get points.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I mean, y'all remember this is the same Magic Johnson who was laughing about not doing his job in LA, right? I mean, I'm just putting that out there. Like,
and shout out to Shug for the 169 donation. Says Pat Mahomes sent a.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the Seven Nation Army thing.
Yeah, he sent us home. Oh, my poor Ravens fans! It was a great year for you all. Tough way to lose, but you got next year to look forward to. Well, gotta run unlike the Ravens did on Sunday. Much love. All facts. All facts. Yes. Thank you, Shay. Thanks for the donation.
Appreciate it. So yeah, up first, give me 1 second. Okay, up first we have a question from Jeremy Miller. Are y'all boycotting the Super Bowl? The players are great. I'm just sick of the same nonsense and teams from the NFL, and I'm watching the commercials and trailers only. So, okay, first, Jeremy, we call that not boycotting the Super Bowl. You are going to be watching. But over here, no, I'm not going to be boycotting.
No.
I'm going to watch the game. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be very entertaining, and I will be watching, especially since I now have the day after off.
Do you?
I do.
Huh. Okay. Well, I don't have the day after off. Not yet.
Sucks for you.
Well, not yet. Now I got some PTO. All right.
Okay.
And, I can take some time off too.
But are you boycotting the Super Bowl?
No. Okay. No.
I don't have to say it like that.
I'm rooting for Pat Mahomes to get his 3rd Super Bowl ring. I ain't got no problem with Pat Mahomes. I like Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
Right? I predicted he's going to be the greatest quarterback in the galaxy when it's all said and done. All right. If Lamar can't get a ring, let Pat get more rings. All right. It's not Pat Mahomes' fault that John Harbaugh can't call a run play. All right. It's not Travis Kelce's fault, right? That Harbaugh just standing on the sideline saying, "Oh well, just the game was just going on. I was just watching."
I don't know what happened, actually, honestly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Osmond. Thank you so much. You signed up for Patreon. Appreciate it.
Hey, salute, Osmond. Appreciate that. If you guys want to be awesome like Osmond, patreon.com/LBHT Show is how you do it. All right. Really appreciate that. As little as $5 a month is how you do that. Okay. Well worth it. Well worth it. You get a lot of benefits depending on the tiers that you get. Even at the lowest tier, $5, it's well worth it. Okay. And thank you, Osmond, for signing up. All
Next up, we've got a question from Jay, who you were just slandering for no reason because he sent his question in ahead of time. Dan Morgan was a former linebacker back in the day with Sam Mills. Don't say back in the day, Jay. You're not that young. With Sam Mills and has seen the teams draft Kuechly, Thomas Davis, etc. Even though Fitterer did not come close to doing it, do y'all think Dan will try to draft a linebacker if there is one in this draft that embodies all those characteristics, or just wait until 2025 when he has a little more wiggle room after fixing the offense this year? I'll go ahead and go first with that. He had better not be focused on finding a linebacker like that. Linebackers are among the least impactful players on the team, and they have so many holes. Now, look, if you run into a Luke Kuechly, if you run into a John Beeson, yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to take him, but they're not going to, because they're picking in the 2nd round, and those guys go in the 1st round, and you better not be focused on that. You better be looking for offensive linemen. You better be looking for another edge rusher. You better be looking for corners. You better be looking for wide receivers. You better even be looking for a running back. I mean, he cannot be focused on that.
If they use their 1st pick in 2nd round for a middle linebacker, this channel will get a lot more entertaining.
Also,
this will be a very entertaining channel.
That's not funny. I don't like that.
I don't want to say there's no way he could do that, right? Or I don't want to say that, yeah, there is a way he could do that, but I mean, we don't know anything about Dan Morgan. Okay, all we know is that he's David Tepper's guy. David Tepper has been doing a very bad job. Okay, so I don't think so.
I only asked our best teams had good linebacker play. Our best teams had great offense play.
Yeah,
like people like to focus on certain aspects. Like the Cam team had Cam, right? You know, the team that went to the Super Bowl previously, they had Steven Davis, they had Steve Smith, they had Musha Muhammad, they had Wesley Walls, right? It's not linebackers that got him there.
Yeah, TJ Penn, I put you in timeout because you're not reading the room, man. He's like, I ain't make the Dave Canales stuff up. I hear you, right? But you know, you're trying to take it in a different direction of what we're talking about. Like, take the hint. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't boot you. I just put you in timeout real quick. And shout out to KP for a donation, man. Appreciate you. Says John Harbaugh averages 100 claps, 5 let's go guys, 4 shock faces, and 1 failed challenge per game. Truly a generational talent at the coaching position.
Well, like he can't. How do you not win a challenge all year? and people still coming here talking about, like, that's the only thing he does. He failed every single time, and people are in here. He's a good coach. All right, anyway, I'm sorry. Moving on. Next,
you know what? You changed my mind. He's a bad coach. I'm tired of it. He's
a very bad coach.
It's all good, TJ Pender. It's all good.
Next up, we've got a question from, I guess, a private user. I'm not sure. There's no username there, but he says, do you guys think, it's only really the first part of this because the Ravens already lost, do you guys think that Stephon Diggs played his last game as a Buffalo Bill? I'll go ahead and read the rest anyway. Also, if the Ravens win on Sunday, is it the biggest playoff win in Ravens history, because it being the first time in franchise history the Ravens have hosted an AFC championship game? Love the show, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I think it would have been, you know, obviously outside of winning a Super Bowl, of winning a title. Yeah, it was a huge deal, which is why they should have wore all black and come out and ran over Kansas City. Whatever, neither here nor there. Game's over. But it would have been fantastic to see them win that one at home.
It would have felt good. But just, man, like, the vibe is completely different from the other Ravens teams, man. Like, those guys, like, John Harbaugh had nothing to do with that second Super Bowl. He just happened to be in the head coaching position. That was Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Suggs, Nada, Ray Rice, Anquan Bolden. They came out there wanting to impose their will on the other team. Yeah, but I mean, especially on defense. I mean,
Todd Heap.
Yeah, like he wasn't part of that.
Wasn't it? No, not Heap.
Pitta. But you know, everybody remembers the Denver game, right? But the game after, when we played the Patriots, we broke their will. And I'll never forget watching that game. Like, just the walkout, when Ray Rice was walking out, the look on their faces was like, oh, we coming to hurt you. Right? Completely different.
If it was that same game, but I remember thinking that Stephen Ridley was dead.
Yeah, it's the same game. Yeah.
It wasn't an illegal hit at the time, but it was an unfortunate hit. Okay, because they hit him and he was never the same.
After that hit, nobody on that Patriots team wanted to touch the ball.
No, and Stephen Ridley didn't want the ball the rest of his career. He was. I don't blame him. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it was sad. He was never the same after that. It was like Eddie George.
Yeah. No, I don't blame
that him. One was really sad because I was a big Eddie George fan, and I was like, I don't know how that happened to you. But
that was violent. But my point is, this Ravens team doesn't have that attitude, and that's the coach's fault.
It is,
because he wanted to get rid of all those alpha males on the team. Right.
Now, to answer the question, I do think that Stephon Diggs has played his last game in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think I think the team is probably done with him, and I think for sure he's done with the team. I think they're going to look to move him.
And listen to some of these Bills podcasters, like Buffalo Fanatics. Shout out to Rico, you know, that whole crew over there. Listening to some of the fans that call in over there, it sounds like they're done with him. Like they're ready for him to go as well.
Yeah,
I would caution that. I wouldn't rush him out the door. But
no, it seems like the general consensus says he quit on the team.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. If that's
and the next question is, should we take a look at him in Baltimore? The answer is absolutely yes. I don't care about his attitude. Can he play?
I would take a look at him, but he wouldn't be first on the list.
No, he's not first. He's not first. Justin Jefferson is first. Okay. I'm not saying we can.
I know. I just
Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins.
Yeah. You go through the list. You try. You call every number. Next up, we've got a question from Buck. Way too early record predictions for the Ravens and the Panthers. Well, since Carolina has not even fully assembled their coaching staff yet, I'm going to say 17-0.
I'm going to say similar record, 14-3. Like, even with the defense taking a step back, the offense will be better, even if they don't really add to it. Zay Flowers will be better. Another year in Monken's offense, right? Because even Lamar kind of hinted towards they weren't 100% in sync. Like, it was, they're still kind of learning it. I just think they'll bring in a couple people. I think they'll be even a little bit better. 14-3.
I think they're going to win about 10 or 11 games next year in Baltimore.
I'll take that too.
I think that because the defense is going to fall off, I think you're going to see a return to them blowing leads. Mm-hmm. And I think that Deshaun Watson will be back and Joe Burrow will be back. And, it'll be even tougher in division. And they're not going to be able to dominate good offenses the way they were this year defensively. So
that's a good point.
11.
I'll take 11 wins.
Yeah. And one final question that I don't have uploaded here, but this one is specifically for you, Jose. And the question is, let me pull it up here. Will Cody Rhodes finish the story? And I'm not going to add any context to that. I'm going to let you just say yes or no.
Now, Cody Rhodes, is he the brother?
I'm not going to add any context to that. I'm just going to let you say yes or no.
No, I'm too old now. Is he the son of Dustin Rhodes?
Ooh. Not going to add any context to that. Just going to let you say yes or no.
Yes, he's going to finish the story.
Finish the story. Okay. Cody Rhodes is the son of Dusty Rhodes, one of the sons of Dusty Rhodes. He's the American Nightmare. He just recently came back to.
He's Dustin's brother?
Yeah. And so finish the story referring to him coming back to WWE and winning the title. That's kind of what. That's the goal for his career. He wants to be the WWE champion because Dusty Rhodes never was, and he's finishing that story for his family.
The American Dream was never the champion. He was the WCW champion, though.
Yeah, and that's why his son is the American Nightmare. He's coming back to finish the story, and
they keep
not letting him finish the story. So Roman Reigns is the champion right now still. He won the Royal Rumble, so he was supposed to be getting a shot at Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But according to what Suge told me, because I did not watch the Monday Night Show, they may be kind of like backpedaling off of that because CM Punk got hurt apparently. So they may be shuffling things around, and they might have him fight Seth Rollins instead. And I'm like, why you do that? Just get Seth Rollins to fight somebody else and let Cody finish the story. But we'll see.
Yeah.
They're in a little bit of disarray right now because of what we're going to talk about in the OT.
Okay. All right. Yes, I love it.
All right, so that is all the questions that we have for today. Next up, we have the NBA segment, and then we got to get out of here because it's getting very, very close to 2 hours. I don't like this laid-back attitude that we have hosting the show this week. NBA, victims of the player participation policy.
Explain the policy real quick. Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, the NBA recently decided, I believe this is the first year, that you have to play at least 65 games in the regular season to be eligible for any of the awards, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA, etc. And you have to play at least 20 minutes in each of those 65 games. We're asking about the victims of this policy because a couple of really high-profile players are already in danger of missing that 65-game mark. And Joel Embiid, we all know this, he doesn't like to play basketball, but also Tyrese Halliburton. Now, with Joel Embiid, I don't think it's a huge deal. I really don't, because he won MVP last year.
Yeah.
And he's the favorite to win it again this year. But okay, you won MVP, but you're hurt all the time. And yeah, you shouldn't be eligible for MVP if you're not playing, a certain number of games. I don't think.
I wouldn't even say he's a favorite. Luka scored 70 points too. He scored more
Well,
than.
I think most people have Joel as a favorite to repeat, because the Sixers are a better team than Dallas, I think. But,
yes,
Tyrese Halliburton is a different story.
Tyrese Halliburton is really good.
Tyrese Halliburton is really good. Tyrese Halliburton has also been injured, but Tyrese Halliburton missing 65 games would prevent him from becoming an all NBA player, and thus cost him roughly $40 million in his contract.
$40 million.
Yeah,
and
because the NBA has the escalators in their deals for players who make the All NBA team or win any of those kind of awards. They're eligible for like supermax contracts and things like that. So he had to make an All NBA team this year in order to kind of trigger that and get the extra $40 million.
Yeah, I think I didn't upload that picture. But yes, Tyrese Halliburton not happy about this. Okay. Says it's a stupid rule. And I feel him on that, man. Like, but elite asking you to do your job, to show up to work, that's one thing. But if you're hurt, you're hurt.
If you're hurt, you're hurt. Absolutely. But I think there is merit to saying, hey, you didn't play enough games to qualify for these awards. Like, it's like I said, it's tougher with the All NBA stuff because you're costing them a lot of money. And we back up a little bit. We'll be fully honest. It's costing you an extra year in your contract, which is where the bulk of that money is.
Yeah.
He's going to play that year anyway, and he's going to get paid a lot of money. So it's not going to be $40 million, but you're still costing him money. But the question is, and Jeremy's saying it here. So if you miss 18 games, you shouldn't get awards. This seems like a useless system. And I think that's the reaction of a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't like it because there's too many games in the NBA already. 82 games you gotta play. That's too much, right? So he misses 20. So what? Right? I don't. Well,
if you say that now, okay, but that's fine because we're talking specifically about Halliburton and Joel Embiid, right?
Yeah.
So okay, Tyrese Halliburton misses 20 games. He plays 62 games, puts up great numbers, makes an All NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell the guy who played 82 games and had similar numbers, but maybe slightly worse, and now is missing out on that All NBA selection?
Well, I mean, the All NBA isn't supposed to be just about stats, right?
It's not just stats, but I mean, it's like any other.
It's who the best players are.
Thing, yeah. And that's going to be it's going to be majority of your stats that gets you on that team.
Man, I think those 20 games to me aren't going to really make the difference. In my opinion, if I'm voting on who the better player was, right? Okay, this guy missed 20 games, but he played the majority of the season, and he just looked better than the other guy, right? That's easy. I don't need to look at just the stats. It's the same thing we're talking about Lamar this year for MVP, right? Like, it's not just about the numbers. You got to watch the game.
No, it's not just about the numbers. But again, let me put this to you. So let's say you have a guy who I'm trying to pull up Tyrese Halliburton's numbers right now real quick here.
Okay.
There he is.
Like, if you're talking about like he's averaging, this many points per game or whatever.
So I'm saying he's averaging right now 23 points, 12.5 assists, 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's say there's a guy who just hypothetically is at 20, 10, and 4. So, and they shoot similar percentages, things like that. But let's say that guy's numbers took a dip because he had a slump in those extra 20 games that he played, and Tyrese Halliburton didn't because he sat out.
Well, I mean, are you saying if Tyrese Halliburton didn't sit out, he would have had that slump?
I'm saying it's possible, right? I'm saying, you play more games, you're likely to have more bad games, right? than you are if you just sit those games out. Because like let's say that person picks up a nagging injury or something like that, but something they can play through, but that's going to affect your performance. As opposed to Tyrese Halliburton, who's just sitting out. Now, I'm not saying he's sitting out just like, oh, I'm not going to play. Like he can't play, but he's going to wait till he's fully healthy to come back and play, and he's going to be playing at 100%.
But those are personal decisions that you make, right? Like,
no, they're not personal decisions that you make because the league says if you can play, you play.
No, it's a personal decision that you make. If you decide you're going to play through injury and it affects your game, that's a decision that you make.
No, no. What I'm saying is with their new rules, their load management rules, and now this rule as well, the league is saying if you can play, you have to play.
No, but
if you're fatigued or you have some nagging thing, you still got to go.
What you're asking. Take the rule out. What you're asking me before is in this scenario, right? Is it fair to judge these two players, right? When one player got to sit out 20 games, the other one was trying to play through and manage his injuries, and it took a hit to his game. And what I'm saying is that's his decision. Like you step on the court, you know how you're going to play. If you're not ready to go, you feel like you need to miss some time, then you need to miss some time. No,
but what I'm saying is that's not his decision because that's what the league is telling you. The league is saying if you can play, then you play.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying like you put a scenario in front of me. That's why I'm responding to that scenario.
Right, but you're saying it's a personal decision. I'm saying it's not a personal decision. It's your job, and the league is saying if you can go, you have to go. And the doctors determine whether you can play with an injury or not. It's not a personal decision. And Tyrese Halliburton can't go. So I have to say, hey, you can't play. And if they say somebody else, hey, maybe let's say it's like a bruised finger on their shooting hand or something like that. You can play. You're fine. It's not going to get any worse. You're not in any risk of any major injury or anything like that. It's just a bruised finger or whatever. But it's going to affect the way you shoot. It's going to affect the way you pass, and maybe you don't perform as well. That's not a personal decision.
No, it is though. The doctors don't 100% determine. If you say my back I'm in too much pain, or my hands are too much pain, I can't go.
Well, but that's just you lying. That's not a personal.
It's not always a lie though. But like what I'm saying, like there are times when doctors will say, okay, well structurally it looks good, but he says he's in pain. Like what do you want me to do?
There are some injuries that are pain tolerant and they know what those injuries are. What I'm saying is if it's something where the player can go, they have to play. And there are situations where you play with nagging little injury, and we see it in the NFL all the time. You have to go, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose money, whatever it is, and you have to go and play even though you're not going to be as effective. Right. Now, so the argument is, hey, this guy isn't out there every night. He's not playing through stuff like that. He's taking time off. He's not playing the full season like the rest of us are.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be eligible for these awards. Now, you can argue 65 shouldn't be the number, but you have to draw a line somewhere. Like if somebody plays 10 games, are they eligible?
But that's why I began the argument. I said 82 games is too many. 20 games, that's not a lot to me. Right.
That's a quarter of the season. If a guy misses a quarter of the season in the NFL, I'm saying if a guy misses a quarter of the season in the NFL, he's not going to win MVP.
No, but it's a shorter season.
It's a shorter season, but I'm saying you're missing the same percentage of the season. You're missing those 4 games in the NFL is the same as missing 20 games in the NBA.
I understand. I just think if it was a shorter season, I could understand it more. But 82 games, and it's just a lot of games, man. It's a lot of games in my opinion.
So is 20 games. 20 games is a lot of games. It is a quarter of the season.
It is. But 62 games is a whole lot of games.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of games. But what I'm saying is you don't win those awards playing 3/4 of a season.
So what about what about the all NBA part of it?
Sucks, man.
Yeah,
like that. No, but I mean, no, but honestly, it sucks. But that's why in those contract situations, they have a couple of years to make that team. It does now for Tyrese. It came down to this year because he hasn't made it.
Right.
And it looks like obviously he's playing well enough to make it this year, but now he's hurt.
Yeah.
But you had a couple of years to make it. You didn't make it. So,
Tyrese, here's the answer to that. Don't sign any max deals. Just be like do the LeBron thing. I'll sign a 3-year deal and then see where we at after that. Okay, line it up with a new TV contract. All right, if I can't get all my money, then I'm not committing to anybody. All right.
But okay, Danity's saying a quarter is not horrible for all NBA, but bad for MVP. It's a quarter for both, though. Like you're not saying now. Look, if you want to say, hey, okay. So this is what I'm thinking now with reading Danny's comment.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss the 65 games, you can't make first team All NBA.
If you miss 20 games, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You miss 65 games, you ain't making nothing. If you only play 65 games, you can't make first team at All NBA. If you only play 55 games, you can't make second team All NBA. Something like that where it's tiered because they have 3 different teams for that.
Yeah.
But I think there has to be a cutoff line because again, you can't say, hey, you played 20 games. And man, they were an amazing 20 games. Here's your MVP, LeBron.
We got to speed this up. We're almost at 2 hours. But I'll say this. The problem isn't with that part of it. The problem is tying that much money to that.
Well, and again, they report it that way, but it's really just an extra year. He's going to make most of that money.
Yeah.
He's just not going to make all of it.
All right, real quick trivia time. You got about 2 minutes to answer
Super Bowl
this.
predictions. Kansas City wins.
Kansas City. Let's go.
All right, trivia time. Inspired by Carolina having a new coach this year. Who? It's 2 coaches are the answer, but who has the most wins as a rookie head coach in the NFL? I'll give you a hint for one of them. One of them was in Carolina's building last year.
All right, quick. All right, you ready? Quick. This is for points. Put your answers in there. Google it fast if you don't know. All right, because when I say we out, we gonna be out. We don't do 2 hours. All right, although it's almost 2 hours, but technically we don't do 2 hours. All right, so TJ, I mean, was George Seifert on your staff?
No.
Okay. He was on the staff last year. Okay.
Yeah, one of the guys was on the staff last year.
All right. You want both coaches?
Yes.
All right. Well, I only see one name answer so far. We need both coaches. All right. Guys, pull it together. Pull it together.
The way you answer these questions reflects on us. All right.
We giving you 30 more seconds. Put your answer. This is for points. There's still 50 people in here, man. All right. Buck. All right. Buck has 2 names. Is he right? We're not waiting for 3 people. We don't have time.
Buck is correct. It's George Seifert and Jim Caldwell.
Okay.
Kill Cam coming in late with the what's the question. All right.
Danny gets it too. Danny gets it too. Okay. Those are the 2 that get it. All right. Buck and Danny get it. You didn't hear it. Well, you can listen to the replay. All right, Joe. You want more of this? We're going over to the overtime show. Okay. That's you can find us on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you have $5 in your pocket, I know you do. I know you got that $5. Go ahead and sign up. All right. Who just signed up? Osmond? Was that who just signed up for us? Shout out to Osmond, for our newest patron. Like you said, we're trying to hit goals over there as well. Okay. We need 2,000 subscribers on the channel. We need 100 patrons, right? That's our short-term goal. Help us get there. Everything that you put towards the show, we put it right back into the show. And we got something coming up in April with the co-op. Okay. That's us, Hendo, the whole Ravens roundup. All right. We're going to be at the Ravens Stadium. All right. So we're getting out of here. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Patrons, get ready. Everybody else. B, are you ready?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. See, I was setting you up. You got a minute. Let's go. Did we get a donation?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Come on. Let's go.
I am ready.
All right. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next time. Peace.